Hi, welcome back to my channel. It is day 1533 of my situation with this thing, and I don't think I need to say any names at this point, but day 1533, and over the last 4 days I got some photos together that I had on a hard drive. This hard drive, so it's from an old laptop that I had at the time, and I took it out, stuck it in an enclosure, and I got the photos that I took all the way from day 9 to day 900. That's just a fraction of what, you know, well, it's a good portion of the time that I've been dealing with this. The damage is more evident in the early part, you know, and here we are. So you're going to see a lot of changes in, here, and then it's going to slow as you go on. And there's definitely a big difference between here and here, and it's enough a difference to show tissue deterioration. Okay, tissue deterioration. That was one of the things that I had talked about a long time ago, a couple of years ago. I said that I would show tissue deterioration by photos. So I did that. I spent a lot of time in the last 4 days getting all these photos together for you. There's a link in the description down below that will have a link to Flickr. So it's under my real name, Stephanie Grow. Okay, and Stephanie Grow, and my email address. Well, it's in the link, so you should be able to find my my stuff there. I've made taken all the photos and organized them. It's chronology from day 9 to day 900. And some of these days I've picked in here, it's not every day, some of the days I picked in here have more than one photo for that day. So day 9 is, you won't see anything extraordinary on day 9 because that's when the complications started. Day 13, day 13, you can see hardened labia. So So this is the vaginal opening, and labia that come down and join at the bottom. bigger picture. So this is the perineum. Perineum here. This is the incision line, and this is the labia. The labia coming up, and this comes into about right here, and on the other side the same thing. So my labia minora, and then this kind of just curves around majora and minora. So labia. So day 13. This is the vaginal opening right here, and then you've got urethra and clitoris and some hooding. Day 13. This is all numb in here, and this is extremely hard as clay right in here. Hard as clay. And there's no sign of any blood in any of the sutures in here for the labia, as well as right here and right here. There's no sign of blood at day 13. These are all ridges that are very hard and numb and kind of shrunken. There's exudation of tissues. Tissue exudation, which is yellow. You know, in various parts. You know, in here, clitoris, and down in there, and down, yeah, down in there. Some of it on the labia. So exudation is consistent with formaldehyde. Formaldehyde, MSDS for formaldehyde. Okay, one of the signs is for subcutaneous injection. Is tissue exudation. So the tissues that are subjected to it squish out yellowness into yellow fluid, and it's something about dead cells and some sort of plasma kind of thing going on. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but it's been a while since I did my research, but basically yellow fluid gets pumped into the surrounding tissues, and then you have the clitoris, You have the urethra. I believe you have the vaginal canal, but I don't have photos to show that. But you can definitely see these things happening. Well, I don't know what if it was actually formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a tissue preservative. It's a tissue preservative that fixates the tissues, and other tissue preservatives would be cedar oil, which is an Egyptian embalming embalming method. Cedar oil. Now, I think I said at one point that here you have day 9, you know, and here you have day 900. Okay. All right, and then you got this, a lot of change happening in there. You got some hardness right in here, right after it. Tissue deterioration happening all the way through here. It continues to spread. So toxicity spreads because I can feel it. I mean, I could feel it all in here, and I'd talk to people and they'd say that I was, you know, I was insane, that I was making this up, that it couldn't possibly, you know, why would a doctor do something like this, you know, and we know it's pretty serious, but you know, Stephanie, it's so outrageous that, you know, we're not going to test for it. So, I'm sorry, but go find another doctor that can help you. So, all in here, I knew that the toxicity is spreading. In hindsight, I do think it was oil-based. Formaldehyde, there's a form of formaldehyde called formalin, which is water-based, and formalin would have been absorbed much more quickly than what's currently happening. So I feel the toxicity spreading, and I don't think it's formalin. It may be formaldehyde that's mixed in a solution. So you take formaldehyde powder, and you stick that in oil, medium, and you have a diluted formaldehyde with indefinite absorption. So, you know, here's the body, here's the exposure, and you know, that's day 0, and then, you know, as time goes on, you have, you know, more exposure. As this goes this way, the body can't process it because it can't absorb it. It's the same principle as intramuscular injections. I don't know what the abbreviation of that is. It's similar to intramuscular injection of estradiol valerate. Okay. Estradiol valerate. Intramuscular injection of estradiol valerate. Now, estradiol valerate's in a peanut oil. Takes 2 weeks. 2 weeks to absorb. Okay, now if you stick formaldehyde in the same solution of estradiol valerate, it's going to take longer to absorb because the tissue that gets exposed is immediately dead or compromised and can't get rid of it. So you have this tissue that acts like a sponge. It's dead. This tissue is compromised, but it's still alive, and this is healthy tissue. You know, this is healthy tissue right here. You know, all this is healthy tissue, and it's absorbing this dead this tissue gets absorbed, and tries to process the formaldehyde, and some of it gets in the blood vessels and gets pumped out or through the kidneys and gets processed. But because it's in an oil, it continues to spread and does not get absorbed. So once this tissue is dead, the veins in here no longer pump blood anywhere. They're kind of frozen. I think that I don't know that for sure. I'm thinking that the blood vessels in here don't pump any blood, so there's no blood flow into here. I don't have any evidence of that, but anyways, you've got a sponge. The idea is that you have the idea that I'm going towards is that you have an area that's dead, that is filled with this toxic formaldehyde, this diluted formaldehyde, and it acts like a sponge. So eventually this blue area becomes dead after a certain amount of time. So we mark that as dead, like that, and now you have a bigger sponge. Okay, and the idea is until you surgically remove this tissue, until you surgically excise this tissue, it's going to continue to be spreading toxicity into the surrounding tissues, you know, and it's just going to progress over time. You know, this now becomes compromised, and then after a while, it goes to dead tissue. Okay. So, okay, I hope I'm making sense. Yeah, I think the photos will show tissue absorption. Okay, so here's tissue absorption. Here's tissue. Here's affected tissue. You know, at T0, dead. Okay, a small part. And this is probably the labia that turned hard as clay. around day 14, 4 days afterwards. 4 days plus day 9. Okay, so this is T0. You know, on a certain scale. I mean, time 0 should be 0 seconds, 0 minutes, but on the grand scale of, you know, here's a time scale, here's 900 days, here's 9 days. This is T0. This is T0 of exposure right here. This is T0. Okay, so you have this dead tissue, this small amount of dead tissue, and over time, okay, it's spreading to the surrounding tissues. Okay, this becomes compromised, it's not completely dead. You can feel it, your body can feel this tissue being compromised. And then you have this healthy tissue here. You know, around here it's healthy, you know. Well, over time, there's absorption happening between dead tissue and alive tissue. You know, this is alive tissue, and this is dead tissue. Okay, so there's absorption. Because the body absorbs dead tissue, even if it's toxic. Even if it's toxic. And I'm not a doctor. I'm sitting here just reading up stuff on the internet, and I haven't read anywhere that dead tissue that's toxic won't be absorbed. But because of what I'm going through and what I've seen and what I can feel happening, I have to come to that conclusion. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but I would ask you to go ask a doctor friend. If there's any doctor that's watching this video, I encourage you to speak up if this is not the case, and be able to back up what your theory is. So I'm the victim here. I'm going through this. I'm experiencing this and having to learn about it firsthand. I don't know if I need to have a medical degree to explain what I think is happening. So, so anyways, dead tissue gets absorbed, and so it looks something like this after a while. It looks like it looks like this. Okay, and this is the remaining dead tissue. Although by the time it gets absorbed, this is already spread out. You know, by the time it gets absorbed, this is spreading out, and so you probably have a constant area that's the same area as that. It stays the same, maybe it increases, but you're definitely getting dead tissue that's getting absorbed through this interface. This is an interface between live tissue and dead tissue. So that's tissue deterioration, absorption. And the photos support that. And if you go look at the photos, I think the cases that Dr. Suporn did sabotage my sex change. He did use a tissue preservative because there is no necrosis. And no infection. Okay. Okay, so what else are we talking about? Why would a doctor do this? I don't know. I mean, I have my suspicions, and I'm going to present some of that suspicions at some point. But I'm suffering from this possible formaldehyde, and I can't get any doctors to acknowledge what's going on. So I'm making this YouTube site because I feel this is very important for people that are going to Thailand for surgery, and they should know about what's going on in Thailand. So, you know, what's happening in Thailand? You know, what is this doctor doing? And what's the transgender community doing about it? You know, are they wanting to find the truth? Okay, I already told you I don't think they are, and it's because of the comments on my channel, the number of subscribers. There are people that are subscribed from the transgender community, but they aren't talking about it. They aren't doing this, you know. They aren't spreading the word. They aren't saying, hey, go look at this site, because they don't want anyone to know about it. The people that are watching my channel are people that are working for Dr. Sue Porn and want to know what the status is of my predicament. So the status is 4 years, and 4 years to produce this this channel and this set of videos. Okay, so back to the photos. I mean, you know, here's 900, and here's 1500, and here's day 9. I mean, I didn't know what was going on right here, and certainly at 6 months I didn't know either. I think at 5 months I did. 5 times 30 is 150, so right in here, 150. So I think I knew what was happening. Someone posted on one of the forums formaldehyde, and I started looking at it. And all my symptoms fit formaldehyde. And I went to, I visited Thailand to see Dr. Sue Porn, and I told him what I thought it was. And Sue Porn decided not to be my doctor anymore. And then he lied and said I quit him. He didn't quit me, so he lied about it. And there's a good amount of evidence to support that, and I think I provided some of that. But anyways, here's 150, and I first learned about formaldehyde. And we're seeing somewhere in here tissue absorption and deterioration. Okay, and then I've been to several doctors in here, and doctors are ignoring me. So doctors and malpractice, and so I'm feeling very alone right in here. I'm feeling very alone, very scared. I'm still stealth, and I'm wondering what it would take to get help. I lost my job somewhere in here, and I went in for a few months. I went and tried to get help from my family. So family didn't help. Okay, and I know you're watching right now, or you could be, or you will be. So like my family that's out there, that's how I felt at the time. I came to my hometown. I slept in my truck. I tried to get my family to help me, go to a doctor with me, look at me, give me a place to stay maybe. It's in a very conservative town in Alabama, and maybe that was too much to ask for. But I tried that for a month or two, okay, and then and this is 2010, okay, and here we are. I don't know, 2.5 years past that would be 2011. So this is 2011. Okay, and then I think the I worked a job for 6 months. So I worked, and I didn't want anyone to know. Scared anyone to know. I had to pay my bills. Didn't want anyone to know about my situation. So I'm still stealth, and I'm working for a conservative company, an avionics company, and so nothing happens in here. And then I lose that job, or the contract completes and they don't renew. And then I spend the remaining time here, and a good portion in here, unemployed, living out of my truck, and thinking about going public, thinking, you know, I don't have anything to lose. And I sort of do that. I start the channel right here. I start my YouTube channel. And then I get a job again. Okay, so I get a job in here, and I'm working again, and it's for a medical device company, and they're very precautious about people that have any kind of social media going on, so everything's kind of halted, and I quit the job because I can't. They're really discriminating against me, so I quit the job. And then, long story short, that's how we get way out here. And I'm finally at a point now where I realize that maybe I need to think about other ways to tackling this problem. And one of the possibilities is publicize. Okay. 2, expose. 3, get help by someone who who sees no further who sees no gain from further cover-up. Okay, and then someone here maybe, just maybe, maybe a charity fund, a donation, donations from public to pay a doctor, lawyer, Okay. So that's the plan now. Is you know, no more hiding. So it's my real name, and everyone will know about it. I think that's the way to go, because you don't really have to worry about anything if everyone knows. I'm not getting any better. My situation is pretty grave. I think the toxicity is going to spread. I think the toxicity is going to spread as far as it needs to go, and possibly get into some vital organs. So, you know, here's the here is the you know, here's the exposure, okay, and then the current state of affairs, possibly somewhere in here, and you know, the vaginal canal's there. I might even say that that this is compromised tissue. Okay, so. You know, it's progressing this way, and you know, I think this is your spine, you know, and you know, your anus is here. I believe that MRI shows some tissue getting exposed right in here. Okay. And I can show those photos too. So, or MRI, I can show the MRIs. So anyways, I don't know where your kidneys are, maybe in here, kidneys. But if it reaches your kidneys, then they stop functioning. You get tired or whatever, and you know, whatever happens to the red blood cells or oxygen carrying cells, all that kind of stuff gets affected. And I don't think there's any kidney diseases in my family. So if I did die from that, it'd just add more to the story here. My chief objective is to expose what Dr. Suporn's doing, and I have nothing else to really live for. He's ruined my transition, my hopes, and I have therefore nothing else to do except to expose what he's doing. So. Again, I don't know why a doctor would do this, but the fact that he did do it, regardless of why, means that he shouldn't be a doctor. He definitely should come clean on what he's doing. There hasn't been a day that I haven't slept with a pillow between my legs, so you know. You know, here I am at night with a pillow right here in between my legs. You know, this thing right here, just because I don't want to put any pressure on my groin. I haven't worn any underwear since my surgery. That's 4 years ago. No underwear. Okay. Another thing is talk about tissue absorption. You know, you know, this is exposed, right? And then over time it and here's the urethra coming down. You know, this is how you urinate. This is the pubic bone right here. And your urethra is right here, and you've got your clitoris is somewhere in here. Okay. So as tissue deteriorates and gets absorbed, it moves up. So this gets absorbed in here. Okay, as that gets absorbed, it starts looking like this.
This one came by and I said, no, this is right. This is the right thing to do. I'm one of the founders of Children's Miracle Network. I'm a child advocate. And this is something that I know will save lives. First of all, what celebrity on the planet do you know that grew up living on food storage? Hello?
Okay, so this is getting absorbed, and so it's a smaller area. This is bone, so while this is smaller, the toxicity is gone. Gone to other tissues, but possibly. But so this urethra is now here. It's not here anymore. So the pee stream was down, and as time goes on, the pee stream gets more forward. Currently, the pee stream is this direction. Okay, that's the direction of the pee stream, and it goes straight up because this thing is now bent like this. I don't know, that's not a very good picture. Maybe I can draw something better. I might have an MRI that shows it. I wouldn't be surprised if I couldn't, because the MRI quality, it's my theory that the radiologists, technicians, and the people that read the MRIs are all involved in the cover-up as well. So yeah, that's a whole nother story, and I'm going to get into that. Why generally you have doctors that are you know, in a circle, like this. Okay, and you're here, and this is you, and they're in a circle, and they're all holding hands. You know, they're all holding hands, and they're sharing, and they're all looking at you, and they can see each other and what they're saying. You know, okay, this guy says something about your medical condition. Well, okay, they know, and they're all looking, and they all know that each other knows. This is the U.S. medical system, and it might be the case everywhere else in the world, but they are able to hear what one says and then say the same thing over here, so that there's no conflict of diagnosis. So I've seen a bunch of doctors, and they all say they can't help me, and they won't order the test to rule out formaldehyde or embalmed tissue, and so here you are. You're really kind of trapped, because every time you see a doctor, you know, here's a doctor and here's you. You know, you've got a computer, you know, the cloud that's out here, and your medical record gets put out here, Okay, so the next doctor that comes along gets the same medical information. So this cloud, this internet cloud where your medical records are kept, it's called EDI, electronic data interchange. It's also called protected health information. Okay. And before a doctor will even see you, you have to agree that he can go out here and look at this cloud. Before he'll even see you, you sign what's called a privacy policy that allows him to look at your medical information. Okay? And it's called use for treatment. Okay, now treatment includes diagnosis. That's the word, and use for treatment. So you're here waiting in the office, and here's a doctor that that you want to see, and before you can see him, he's making you sign a policy agreement, and now a privacy policy, and now it's not even required for you to sign it. They just want you to look at it. Then we have to ask you permission, because they're going to go out here and look at this information, and it makes sense because it's efficient. They know what previous doctors have done, but in a case of unprecedented medical condition, they are more concerned about being consistent with each other than worrying about the patient. So, so at what point do you start fearing for your life, and you realize that you need to expose on your own through your own tests? So, I'm going through this whole thing and I'm not getting any diagnosis, and therefore no treatment. So, no diagnosis, no treatment, and no tests. Okay. So that's, I haven't gone to a doctor in a year and a half. That's a lie. I went last year, but it was a complete shebang. I had insurance last year, but I haven't been to a doctor in 8 or 9 months. So, after a few years, let's say 3 years, of this, and then also having a situation where I was beaten up at a hospital, where I thought I could have died because I was food poisoning, so I was dehydrated. Okay, and this same hospital was the one that was the ones that weren't diagnosing me, and I'd been there previously for another problem, the one in my groin. So one time I go there for food poisoning and I get arrested. So these events caused me to say, hey, I can't trust this situation. This situation is a doctor, a Thai doctor, injecting people with embalming fluid. Possibly formaldehyde, and I want to expose that. It's because I don't trust the doctors to expose it. I don't trust anybody else to expose it, and so I'm going to expose it, and that's just the way it's going to be. And maybe that's what Dr. Suporn wants. Maybe this is a big exercise because Dr. Suporn wants to set an example. Maybe he thinks I deserve that. So what are the tests? I'm doing tissue deterioration, which is I don't know if I spelled that right. Okay, and then two videos showing rubbery tissue. Rubbery dead tissue. Loss of elasticity, which would be consistent with embalmed tissue. 3 thermograph. Okay, so thermograph. Thermograph came up recently in the last couple of months, and I think it's the most damning because embalmed tissue has no heat or no blood flow. No blood flow and no heat. So therefore, if you do an image of the body, this area that's exposed is gonna show up as very cold in the image, and the rest of the body is gonna show up as hot. This is what a thermograph does. Okay, so I feel that once I show that, then I don't think I have to show any more evidence. I mean, I'm sure an ultrasound, a Doppler ultrasound, would further show blood flow stopping around the periphery of this embalmed tissue. But I can't get that on my own, and a doctor's not going to give that to me. So I was able to get that from a doctor informally, but he quickly turned the machine off, and I'm guessing he didn't put that in the medical records. So I mean, I watched it, and he had the probe on my groin, and he was moving around the area where I felt pain, in here, and I was looking at it, and sure enough, what I imagined what was happening was happening. There was blood coming into a vessel. Here's a vessel, and you've got blood flow coming in, and then this is the tissue that's dead, and this is the tissue that's alive. Okay. What I saw was, this blood's coming to a stop, and it's pulsating. So on a Doppler ultrasound, you see this red blob right here, and it looks like a little kind of blob like this, and it's pulsating. Okay, so it would look just like a clot, but he quickly turned that off, and so I don't think he's going to help me out there. He's also from Alabama, and that's what I did when I was in Alabama. I do have a positive formic acid test from Thailand. Formic acid test. I do have that. So I think all these things together will show what I'm going through. That for whatever reason, I got myself into a situation with a doctor that's willing to do this thing to patients, and I'm going to expose them. And I've been through a lot to come here and expose what's happening to the world, and I hope you'll appreciate that. I don't want other transgender people to have to go through what I've gone through. At the very minimum, I want people to know what are the risks going to Thailand for for surgery. You know, can a Thai doctor retaliate? You know, is this a lesson in Thai culture? You know, how are doctors seen? You know, are they treated like you know, senators and Republicans and, you know, the higher ups that aren't questioned? I imagine it's possible that Dr. Sue Porn got himself in a position where he needed to retaliate against me for something I did to him or his family. Dr. Sue Porn, you know, has all his patients around, you know, over here, and he surrounded himself by post-op patients. So they're running his website. They're handling new patients that are coming in, and if this is his family, you know, his family, and you disrespect his family, then that's the same as disrespecting him. And I would venture to propose that Dr. Suporn retaliated as if I had disrespected him. So maybe we can go get into that in another video. But this is what I think happened. I mean, here I am. I'm spent 8 years. 8 years preparation. Hormones, 4 years living and working full time as a woman. And I did all the preparation. Even had $37,000 to do some facial stuff. So I did all this only to get to a failure because of Thai culture. And I don't think it was just this. I think it was a combination of this and not knowing about this, and not knowing about this family, and disrespect. And I don't think it was just. I mean, this disrespect had to get to Dr. Supor, and someone had to notify him. And so I don't think it was just Dr. Supor. I think these people out here communicated this disrespect to Dr. Suporn to try to get this whole thing to happen. So I think Dr. Suporn very well may be a pawn, and people out here know of this culture and have put him in a position to act this way. I think it's entirely possible that Dr. Suporn is a good person as far as in the Thai world. He did what he thought he was supposed to do. At the end of the day, I don't think he should be a doctor. I think he should lose his license for what he did to me. He ruined my life, and at least is my goals for being a woman with a functioning part down there, and all the work that I did to get there. So I was working full time as a female, and I was successful at it. And I don't think you could do anything else to make yourself deserve transition, deserve a sex change and complete your transition. So sex change for some of us is the final act of transitioning, and we go through this long process of transition, and sometimes it makes us ornery and hard to get along with, and sometimes we disrespect people that are out here that have had no struggles, especially the out and proud. So there's the out and proud that are out here out and proud, that don't go through the same struggles as a stealth transitioner. Okay, so that's controversial. I don't expect I'll get any nice comments for that, but I think all this is what's going on, and I think if this is your family and your prospective patients are coming in from this family, then here's a stealth person, me, and I'm causing a lot of trouble. I don't see. I'm a low risk because I don't represent the patient customer base that Dr. Suporn needs to satisfy. So these are the people he needs to satisfy, and I'm the wild card out here. There's no accountability. There's no recourse for causing pain to me. And especially in the way that he caused it, it's taken me a long time to expose him. And some people will say that because it took so long, that that it's kind of bogus, maybe, or maybe it's made up. So, anyways, I'm open for anyone who wants to publicize my story. TV, internet, newspaper. Okay, so that's it for today. It's just a long video, and I have a new memory card. I have a high def recorder, and I'm hoping the sound will be good for you guys. And yeah, I feel good that maybe I can get my story out, and that the people that have called me crazy or insane are going to be proved wrong, and the ultimate result will be that I'm the victim here. I went to a pretty extraordinary event in Thailand. Felt that I could have died there. Lucky to be alive, and I desperately want to make the world know what happened to me and what I went through, and that I went through it alone, and I'm struggling right now, and I deserve some respect, and I deserve some help. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to expose Dr. Suporn, and we're going to get some help. Okay, take care, and we'll see you next time.